Hello everyone. We are going to work on some story problems today as a review from Algebra 1. You could go to pages 3 and 4 in your course packet. We're going to go ahead and get started with number 1. The length of a rectangle is 7 more than 3 times the width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 38 centimeters. Find the length of the rectangle. So we're going to go ahead and let x equal the width of the rectangle. The reason why we can say that is because we actually can set up an equation for the length since it's using this word is in there. Okay, so I'm going to draw a picture of a rectangle and then it says that the length, so I'm going to use L for length, is 7 more than, so 7, remember more than means addition, 3 times the width. So 3 times the width, which is x. So I'm going to go ahead and label my rectangle appropriately then, that I have the length is 7 more than 3 times the width, and the width is just x. I also know that the perimeter of the rectangle is 38. So remember from geometry that perimeter is the total of all the surrounding sides of my rectangle. So therefore, I'm going to set up an equation where I say 7 plus 3x plus x plus 7 plus 3x plus x equals 38. Okay, so I just started with this 7 plus 3x and worked my way around the rectangle and then set that equal to the perimeter of 38. From here, I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms to see that I have a total of 3x, x, 3x, and x is going to give me 8x plus 14 equals 38. And then now I just need to continue to solve this equation by subtracting 14 to get 8x equals 24, and then dividing by 8 gives me x equals 3. So now just verify that you're actually answering the question. Remember, they asked us to find the length of the rectangle. X represented the width, so therefore we do have a little bit more work to do here, where I need to go back and plug in that x. So the length is equal to 7 plus 3 times 3, which is 7 plus 9, which gives me that the length of my rectangle is 16 centimeters. There's another example similar to this in number 2 that we can work through in class tomorrow. We're actually going to move on now to number 3. Okay, so looking at number 3 here now. Oh, the cinnamon, cinnamon, cinnamon. Don't forget the cinnamon. It always reminds me of the coraliers. We do this problem. So there is a couple different ways that you guys can go through, and these are called mixture problems, starting with number 3 and through the rest of this worksheet here. The way we're going to talk about it is by utilizing a table to help us organize the information from the problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just make this table. And every time I make the table, it's always going to be a 3x3 table. So that's just going to help me organize the information that I have in the problem. Okay, so 16 pounds of brand M cinnamon was made by combining 12 pounds of Indonesian cinnamon, which costs $19 per pound, with 4 pounds of Thai cinnamon, which costs $11 per pound. Find the cost per pound of the mixture. Okay, so what you're going to notice here is that we have 2 types of cinnamon, the Indonesian cinnamon and the Thai cinnamon, that are being mixed together to give us this brand M that is the mixture, right? Because it tells us that brand M cinnamon was made by combining these. Okay, so I'm going to label the first part here. This is going to be my Indonesian cinnamon. And then I'm also going to have information about my Thai cinnamon. And then I have my mixture. And again, in this case, the mixture is that brand M. M. Okay, so that's what each of these rows are going to represent. This first row is my information about my Indonesian, the second row is about my Thai, and then the third row is about my mixture. Then I also need to label my columns. So the other pieces of information that I have about each of these types of cinnamon is I have the pounds, LB, and I also have the cost, which is going to give me then a total. Okay, so now we're just going to go through and pick out those important pieces of information, right? So first of all, 16 pounds of brand M cinnamon was made by. Remember, that's my mixture, and I have 16 pounds of it, so I'm going to put a 16 right in the spot here. Combining 12 pounds of Indonesian cinnamon, so in my Indonesian and pounds box, I'm going to put a 12, which costs $19 per pound. So I'm going to put a 19 in my cost for the Indonesian, with 4 pounds of Thai cinnamon, so 4 pounds of Thai cinnamon, which costs $11 per pound. And it wants me to find the cost per pound of the mixture. Okay, so as we work across, we're going to be multiplying here. So 12 times 19 is going to equal 288. And then working our way across in the second row, 4 times 11 is going to equal 44. And then 16 times, notice that the question asks me to find the cost per pound of the mixture. So again, mixture here, the cost per pound is here. So that's where I'm going to put X. So I'm going to say that I'm going to let X equal the cost per pound of the mixture. Okay, so then working across again here, 16 times X is 16X. From here, what you're going to do is the total column provides you with an equation. So working our way down, we're going to add and then make it equal. So I have the 288 right here plus 44 right here equals 16X. Okay, so working down, we're going to add and then set them equal. Working across, you multiply. Okay, so now I'm just going to solve this equation. So 288 or 228, I'm sorry, this was a 228 before. My math was off on that. My apologies. 228 plus 44 is 272 equals 16X. And then we're going to get X equals 17. So again, just like we did in number 1 now, make sure you're answering the question, right? So X represents the cost per pound of my mixture, which is what I was asking you to find. So therefore, we know that the mixture is going to cost $17 per pound of that brand M or that mixture. Okay, we're going to do one more of these together right now, and then we will practice this more in class tomorrow. So let's go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to look at number 6 right now together. Okay, and this one, we again need to start by creating our table. And if you find a way that you can organize the information and solve these without making a table, you won't be penalized for that, but I just find it helpful. Okay, so metallurgist needs to make 12.4 pounds of an alloy containing 50% gold. He's going to melt and combine one metal that is 60% gold with another metal that is 40% gold. How much of each should he use? Okay, so I don't have namings of like the Indonesian and the Thai cinnamon like I did before, but I know that I am using 2 different types of gold. So I'm just going to call it gold number 1 and gold number 2 that are being mixed together to give me that alloy. And then I can also see that I have pounds as well as a percentage of how much metal they are to give me my total. Okay, so now again, let's go back and read. So he needs to make 12.4 pounds of an alloy. That alloy again is that mixture. So he needs 12.4 in the mixture. That goes here. That contains 50% gold. So 0.50 here. He's going to melt and combine one metal that is 60% gold. So I'll put that 0.6 up here with another metal that is 40% gold. That's another one right there. How much of each should he use? Okay, so look, we're going to only use one variable here. Again, you could do this a different way, but we're just going to use one variable. So I'm going to say that I'm going to let X equal the pounds of the 60% gold. Okay, you could make it be the 40% gold, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put an X here. Working my way across then, I would have 0.60x. Okay, so again, like I said, we're only going to use one variable here. So remember that my total column, I was adding those together. So I can do the same thing with my pounds, right? Like I know that my mixture is going to have 12.4 pounds of that metal, or yes, of that metal. Then, and I already have X amount. That means that I would need 12.4 minus X would give me how much of that second one. So again, working our way down, this plus this should give me this, right? So if I knew that X was the pounds of that first one and 12.4 is the pounds of my total, then to get what this part is here of that second one, I need to do 12.4 minus X. Okay, so now again, I'm going to multiply across. So I'm going to write this as 0.40 times 12.4 minus X. And then this is 12.4 times 0.5, which is going to give me 6.2. Okay, so once you've done that, once you've organized it, now remember this is just your last column here where you can go ahead and create your equation. So I have 0.60x plus 0.40 times 12.4 minus X equals 6.2. Okay, so now I'm going to solve this equation. So 0.60x plus 4.96 minus 0.40x equals 6.2. Combining like terms, 0.2x plus 4.96 equals 6.2, and then 0.2x equals 1.24. X equals 6.2. Again, let's make sure we've answered the question. How much of each should he use? Well, X is the pounds of the 60% gold. So I know that I need 6.2 pounds of the 60% gold. And then remember, to find the amount of that 40% gold, I just need to come down here and do 12.4 minus X, which I know is 6.2. In this situation, it just so happens to be 6.2 also, but that doesn't always the case. So I need 6.2 pounds of the 60% gold, and I also need 6.2 pounds of the 40% gold. Okay. All right, so we are going to practice this more in class tomorrow and make sure you guys have a really good handle on these types of questions and just organizing them. But hopefully this gives you a nice little preview. Don't worry, you will be able to use a calculator on all of these questions. I don't expect you to be able to do all of that in your head. All right, well, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.